Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The Russo brothers are at it again, teasing Avengers Doomsday. They did the same thing they did during Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, being as cryptic as possible, so we will break it all down, because they just did this also a little while ago. This is actually the second time they've done this in as many weeks. Part of me feels like they're leaking this stuff on purpose because New York Comic-Con is right around the corner and they're doing so much stuff there between the movies and the TV shows at Comic-Con, so they just want the extra hype, and Marvel has been known to leak stuff on purpose. This is also in addition to all the teasers that posted of the comic book accurate X-Men suits that they're going to be wearing during the events of the movie, answering a lot of fans' requests many years in the making to finally do more comic book accurate X-Men suits. Basically making the movies seem more like X-Men 97 and X-Men the Animated Series, but in live action with those characters. Part of the reason why they're posting all these is because they finished principal photography, even though there are going to be lengthy reshoots with them bringing actors back to film stuff piecemeal over the rest of the year and next year, because they're filming Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars back-to-back, the same way that they did with Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, with like a couple weeks break in between both movies. Very clearly they're flying by the seat of their pants for both of these movies, for better or worse, but it's going to take them a long time to actually work through post-production, which is why they're giving themselves so much extra time with the delays. You all remember how crazy things got during Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame with the types of teasers and trailers they released during those movies? Just expect more of the same during Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars when they start dropping all that stuff. So of course we'll break it all down as they release it. Be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. The brand new teaser that people are going crazy over is Joe Russo's post from the set of Avengers Doomsday. He's in between sets here saying, "Look harder." If you remember, he did the exact same thing during Avengers Endgame, also saying, "Look closely." So when he posted this new picture, he should have just said, "Look even closer." So of course, everybody posting all the memes, like, what are you actually seeing inside this? Like, what are the Easter eggs in the background here? What's actually going on? Do all these things inside the camera frame here secretly spell out Avengers versus X-Men or something else? When he did this during Avengers Infinity War, the thing in the background was actually just meant to be some gear that Iron Man was working on, an engine that just sat inside the new Avengers base in the background of a scene with Rhodey and the rest of the characters. Literally, that's all it did. It was just set decoration in the background. In context, it was just a piece of Iron Man's gear that you never actually saw them use during the movie.
I'm pretty sure I paid for that.
You have second thoughts?
Not anymore.
So that's probably what's happening inside this new image, is that all the stuff you see inside here might just be stuff that shows up in the background of a scene, like there's some lighting gear here. You actually see some sets that he's outside of, like they're filming inside the set that's on the far right here. Maybe if we're lucky, some of this will be of consequence, but you'll just see it in the background of scenes, or in some cases, you won't see the structures or the items at all. We will all pretend like we didn't look at this way too hard for way too long, but you can also let me know what you think you see inside this image. Recently, you also probably spotted that Channing Tatum was talking about Gambit during the movie and all the X-Men stuff and how it was going to blow people's minds. A lot of that was because all their comic book accurate costumes they're going to be wearing during the movie actually leaked a little while ago. We even got first looks at what Franklin Richards is going to be during the movie. He is aged up like we saw him in the Fantastic Four post-credit scene, and the other Fantastic Four characters. Namor even looks like he's wearing a more comic book accurate suit. Everybody got new suits. Some of them we've already seen in the previous post-credit scenes, but some of them are brand new first looks. The actual people we have to thank for these leaks, for this first look at the costumes, as well as a first look at Doctor Doom separately, there was another leak of a hologram of Doctor Doom that looks similar to the other hologram that got shown up, what he might actually look like in the movie. Were actually from a couple different crew members, one from hair and makeup, that's where all the costumes came from. The Doctor Doom hologram came from one of the stunt coordinators that worked on a lot of other Marvel movies and some DC movies that James Gunn did, like he just did the Superman movie as well. Hopefully those people all still have jobs in Hollywood and they weren't immediately fired off of the next things that they were working on. Very clear example of why you need to protect all of your data online. Speaking of which, thank you to CyberGhost for sponsoring today's video. With over 38 million users worldwide, CyberGhost is one of the most trusted VPN providers available and has a near perfect rating on Trustpilot. If you think using incognito mode on your browser protects you from AI and tech companies scraping all of your private personal data, think again. This is why you need a VPN. CyberGhost can actually protect you from these giant tech companies trying to steal and sell all your personal data. CyberGhost encrypts your internet traffic and reroutes it through their secure web servers in over 100 countries, ensuring complete privacy and security. No one, not hackers, not your ISP, not even CyberGhosts themselves, can see what you're doing online while you're using their VPN. Netflix, Disney+, many other streaming services also restrict a lot of their movies and TV shows, so only people from certain countries can see everything. CyberGhost can also help you access all that extra content regardless of where you actually live. It works on all types of devices and operating systems and lets you protect up to 7 devices at the same time, making it perfect for sharing with your family and close friends. They're also running a special deal right now for everyone on my channel. Use the link in my description, I'll put it below, to get an 84% discount in 4 months for free, plus a 45-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support so you can try it completely risk-free. Everyone be sure to check out CyberGhost and start protecting your phones, your devices, right now. And just looking at all the costumes, there's a lot to pick out here. We'll go through all these, but probably the biggest thing that everyone's going to be talking about here are the comic book accurate X-Men. So there are some changes. They're not meant to be exactly like the comics, but it's a bit of a combination of Joss Whedon's astonishing X-Men in the comics in X-Men 97, which were based, at least in season 1, on the 1990s versions of their costumes in the comics. For instance, probably one of the biggest changes is they gave Mystique an actual costume. She's not going to be naked for the entire movie. Up at the top here too, you can see Magneto doesn't look exactly like his 1990s X-Men 97 red costume from the comics, but Beast looks just like he does right out of the comics in X-Men 97. Cyclops also probably one of the most accurate characters to his 1990s costume. One of the other questions that a lot of people had too is this person down in the bottom right-hand corner. That's not meant to be a girl. That's actually meant to be Franklin Richards with his curls that you see during the Fantastic Four post-credit scene. You just can't quite tell because it's kind of fuzzy, blurry. Like zoom enhance 1,000 times. Just starting in the upper left-hand corner, obviously they put Dr. Doom in the upper left-hand corner because he's like the main character of Avengers Doomsday. So this depiction looks pretty close to the better HD first look that we got a little while ago. This is what it actually looks like in nice shiny HD footage. You also notice as we're going through all these too, is that the only people that are featured on here on this crew wrap gift are the people that were featured during the official Chair Watch video, even though we know a lot of other characters like Spider-Man, Deadpool, Wolverine are also going to be in the movie. Captain Marvel, for instance, they're probably leaving them off because they knew that people would be posting this stuff during the wrap parties, so they didn't want it to be too spoilery.
We ready?
Right beneath him is short-haired Thor. So Thor is back. Notice he's got the gold emblems on his costume. It looks a little bit different from the one that he was wearing at the end of Thor: Love and Thunder. So it seems like he's gotten another new costume, but he's also cut his hair again. So if you're a big fan of short-haired Thor, he is back. Sam Wilson in the same Captain America suit that we saw him in at the end of Captain America: Brave New World. Ant-Man in the same suit that we saw him in at the end of Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. Then we get some slightly different Fantastic Four costumes. So you notice they're wearing the exact same base level costumes that they wore in the Fantastic Four movie, but a couple of them have jackets. Everybody but Ben Grimm, basically. Shuri looks like her Black Panther suit is the same during Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but Letitia Wright said that she would have a brand new suit during the events of the movie, so maybe her helmet has changed just a little bit since then. Shang-Chi looks like his suit has not changed since the end of the Shang-Chi movie. It's been a couple years. There were a couple of jokes that the actor Simu Liu was telling on Twitter when they were talking about doing other sequels to other more recent movies. Like, people were getting sequels way, way faster than he was getting sequels. Down below him is meant to be God Loki because you can see he's wearing the same cloak that he was wearing at the end of Loki Season 2, and he's got his bendy horns, but they're his old bendy horns, not the giant ones that he had at the end of Season 2. So they brought him back down to the smaller horns. This character beneath Red Guardian is meant to be M'Baku. Remember, at the end of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, he and Shuri basically split the duties of being the king or queen of Wakanda and being the Black Panther. Now he is the king of Wakanda while she is just the Black Panther. Then we get another comic book accurate glow up for Namor. Beneath him, notice he's got the popped collar just like comic book Namor. One of the only changes though is that he's wearing a vest, like a shirt underneath that, instead of going completely shirtless. Next to them, starting at the top, this is meant to be Ian McKellen's Magneto. He is wearing a more comic book accurate red suit, but it's hard to tell if he's just wearing a jacket over a very accurate suit or if it's just meant to be a big change from a comic book accurate suit. Down below him is Patrick Stewart's Professor X. He doesn't have the yellow floaty chair, and the jacket that he's wearing isn't exactly as comic book accurate as some of the other X-Men suits, but still pretty close. Then Channing Tatum's Gambit definitely made a name for himself. They're revealing that this X-Men team that we see in Avengers Doomsday is his X-Men team, and they're the ones that probably saved him at the end of the movie. Just the way they're bringing all these different post-credit scenes together, these different groups, it seems like they're saying that that group of X-Men is the X-Men universe that Monica Rambeau wound up in at the end of the Marvels movie.
Which is, of course, impossible.
James Marsden's Cyclops, below him, like I said, probably one of the most comic book accurate to his 90s costumes. There's been so much fan art of him wearing that suit, it's just a matter of time. I think we're all expecting them to do that comic book accurate version of Cyclops at some point. Beneath him is Alan Cummings' Nightcrawler. He's actually talked the most about the movie. Of all the actors, he's been talking so much that Marvel actually gave him a call and said to stop talking about things. Probably one of the biggest things he revealed is that Nightcrawler will have a fight with Mr. Fantastic using both of their powers. So imagine his stretchy powers going up against Nightcrawler's teleporting ability. Beneath him, Sentry, also exact same suit at the end of the Thunderbolts movie. Although you notice that he's back in Sentry form, because the whole idea is that Bob was afraid to go back into Sentry form at the end of the Thunderbolts movie because he was afraid of the Void. So something happens during the events of Avengers Doomsday to force him to go back into Sentry mode, regardless of what might happen with the Void. There's a bunch of stuff coming up. If there's any Easter eggs you spotted in any of these first looks or teasers that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments and I'll add them to my future bonus videos. We're going to see more of this happening through the rest of this year and next year. There's so much stuff happening right now. My Gen V Episode 5 video will post next. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Then my Peacemaker Episode 7 video. We will see what's happening on that Nazi version of Earth. Thank you to CyberGhost VPN. Be sure to use the link in my video description to get their huge discount. Start protecting yourself today. It's super cheap, and we won't tell Netflix or Disney Plus or any of the other streamers that we're also using it to get a ton of extra content that they don't want us to see. I also just posted my Marvel Zombies video for all the episodes. Click here for that, and click here to learn about what's going on that Nazi version of Earth on Peacemaker. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.